Thank you for watching Let's Get Political. I'm, of course, your host, Alicia Reese. Today we have State Representative Joel Rudman with us. He's going to be answering 13 questions. Thank you for taking the time.
It's my pleasure.
Question 1, who's your best friend at the Capitol?
Oh, wow. We're just starting right out of the chute, aren't we? Best friend in the whole Capitol? Okay, so it's probably, believe it or not, it's probably someone across the aisle. It's probably a Democrat. I have a close friendship with Representative Hillary Cassell from South Florida.
Who's your best friend from across the aisle?
Well, boy, I killed two birds with one stone on that. So we struck up a friendship during our first session together. She's a freshman, I'm a freshman. You know, you noticed people's personalities. You noticed that people were getting things done. I think, I definitely noticed that about her. Hopefully she felt the same about me. We have common goals when it comes to things like mental health. And there's a lot of priorities there that overlap. And so it's those kind of connections. It's those reaching across the aisle moments that really matter to me as a politician. That's kind of what we strive to do here in Tallahassee.
What do you do when you aren't in Tallahassee and when you are in Tallahassee but not at the Capitol?
Gotcha. What do I do when I'm not in Tallahassee? I'm probably at my office seeing patients. The other thing I do when I'm not seeing patients, because I'm a family physician back home in Navarre, Florida. So if it's in between, like for example, tonight, I'm leaving Tallahassee, I'll see patients tomorrow. So what do I do in that interim space? I go down to a little place on the beach called 30A. It's kind of in between Tallahassee and Navarre. It's kind of east of Destin, Florida. Beautiful beaches, wonderful restaurants. It's kind of my decompression chamber. So I'll probably stop there and eat dinner tonight and then go home and get ready for the workday tomorrow. What do I do in Tallahassee when I'm not in this office? You can pretty much find me in this office any hour of the day, because you know what? I've got a guitar amp mounted right up there in the wall. I've got my guitars here. So I fancy myself a little bit of a rock musician on the side. So chances are, if you come up here at 7 o'clock at night, you'll hear my amp blasting and you'll hear me playing music up here.
What's your favorite bill that you put forth last year?
Oh, now we're getting to the easy questions. You're supposed to start with the easy questions. So my whole reason for running for office was to promote and protect physicians' freedom of speech. I was a doctor during the COVID era where we were effectively silenced. You know, the government said, don't go ask your doctor what to do, ask the government. I thought that was the wrong answer. The right answer is ask your physician what to do if there's a medical crisis. So I ran for office because they tried to silence me as a physician. When I got here, I ran a bill with the support of the governor that protected Florida physicians' freedom of speech and our right to practice according to our conscience. In other words, you can't force your doctor to do something that they feel is against their training. That bill was passed and signed into law. We are the first state in the nation to protect doctors' speech, the sixth state in the nation to protect doctors' medical conscience. So I'm very proud of that accomplishment. I feel like I could go home today. I've done everything I needed to do. So that was definitely my crowning achievement.
Do you live in your district?
Of course I live in my district. I live in an unincorporated community called Navarre, Florida. It's Florida, supposedly the motto is it's Florida's best kept secret, but now of course it's not, because this thing's going to go viral and everybody's going to know about Navarre.
You're running for re-election.
That's the rumor. Yes, that's the rumor. I have filed for re-election. Ask me in an hour if I'm running. in Tallahassee, you know, it's a very bipolar environment here in Tallahassee. I'm feeling good right now because I'm sitting with a fantastic reporter / journalist. But in 2 minutes, someone could knock on the door and tell me all my bills are dead, in which case I would go into this huge funk, this huge depression. So that's why I say ask me in 5 minutes, you'll probably get a different answer.
Sum up your campaign in one word.
Freedom.
If you win re-election, how do you realistically see Florida in the next 2 years?
So we're in a good spot. Florida's a great state. We have a lot going for us here, and we have a lot of advantages, a lot of resources that other states don't have. I'm from Mississippi, for example. So to me, it's a blessing to be living in the free state of Florida. I think Florida is on the right path, the right course, and we're only going to get better.
What's something about the Capitol that most people don't know, a little known secret?
I think it's fascinating that the whole reason we're here is because the original capitals of Florida, remember there was a West Florida, which is where I'm from. I'm from, the old Republic of West Florida. Pensacola was the capital there. And then you had East Florida, which had St. Augustine as the capital. So the whole reason that we convene in Tallahassee is that it was equidistant between the two original capitals. Back in the day when Florida was a territory, the legislatures would convene first. I think the first one was actually in Pensacola. And then the next year, they would alternate. And then finally someone said, to heck with this, people are going to get killed doing this. Can we just meet somewhere in the middle? So that's why we're here in Tallahassee.
What's a misconception people have about your job?
Well, I'm sure everybody has said this. The misconception is that it's a part-time job. So as a doctor, when I ran for office, first ever campaign I ever ran, mind you, people are asking me, people in the know are like, how are you going to do this? You can't be a doctor and be a politician. So of course you can. It's only 60 days. I can do anything for 60 days. You get here and obviously the work itself is like a hurricane. It just never stops. It's always something. It's always that extra, that outer band is coming through. And then when you go home, so even tonight on my drive, I'm sure I'm probably going to get 6 phone calls on the drive home. And it's like, you can't shut off when you're a legislator. I think some people try to shut off. I'm somebody, if you call me at 9 p.m. at night, I'm going to answer it. If you post something on Instagram where you're criticizing a bill or you have a question about something, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. because that's going to be on my mind. I'm going, oh God, did I do the right thing there? So again, the job doesn't shut off. And that's the biggest misconception, that we're just part-timers.
If you weren't a state representative, what would you do?
I'd be on tour. I'd be a rock star. Some people say I'm already a rock star, but I don't know about that. That's what they say, not me. But so as a family doctor, that's challenging, that's exciting and everything. Certainly that's a calling. But the part of this job that I really appreciate, the part that, what do I get out of this job? I get the fact that, like my idol Paul Stanley, whose picture is on my wall over there, that's why I'm pointing. Like my idol Paul Stanley, you put a microphone in front of Paul Stanley, a kiss, place goes quiet. Everybody wants to hear what Paul Stanley has to say. And you get a little bit of that in the Florida legislature when you debate a bill, when you're talking about really, really critical things that are going to impact the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. People stop and they listen to what you say. And so for me, that's my stage. If that stage didn't exist, I would probably just find another stage. Maybe I'd be playing some dive bar somewhere. I don't know. But for me, I think I was made for the stage. So if I sound a little raspy today, like this is not my normal voice. So we were out karaokeing last night. Why? Because somebody dared me. They said, hey, you're a show off. You like mics. Yeah, don't ever put a mic in front of me because I know how to use it.
What's a fun fact about your job that most people don't know?
Oh, I've got one. No one will ever say this to you. I'll be the only rep that says this. So like I said, I'm a medical doctor and we have to be licensed, in the state. We have to do our license upkeep. We have to basically cut a check to the state of Florida. I think it's like every 2 years, to recertify your license. And so my license came up for renewal January 31st of this year. And, between the job and between, coming up here and working in the legislature, it's like, oh my God, I got to meet all these requirements, all that. And the notice I got in the mail, it said, hey, remember to renew by January 31st, unless, and it was like, unless you serve in the military, unless you were deployed. The very last statement said, unless you are a member of the Florida legislature. So the fact that I am serving my community in my official capacity as representative, I automatically got my license renewed. I didn't have to, pay a check, didn't have to fill out a form. I was granted an exemption, and I never knew that clause was in the statute. But thank you, people of Florida. I appreciate that.
What does your perfect day include?
My perfect day would include a steak dinner in there somewhere. If we're talking about the legislature, it would include having one of my bills either heard, having a bill passed in the House, or again, maybe having a substantial debate where I got to have a mic and make a meaningful impact. So if I went in Tallahassee, what else would make a good day? Music. Just a lot of music. And I don't mean radio music. I mean rock music. I mean the stuff Alicia, that you grew up with, the stuff that has you in this seat right now, music used to motivate us. Like, I don't know about you. If I would get pissed off at something, I would know what songs to play, right? And it would, you get all that aggression, you get all that energy out. If you wanted to be fired up about something, you knew what songs to play. You knew, hey, if it was party night, you knew what songs to play. So music is a big inspiration. It couldn't be a complete day if there wasn't some music involved in there somewhere. Either a song I put on, a song I play on that guitar, music would have to be in there somewhere. Music and a microphone. Good combination.
But that's all the questions.
No way, that's it? Oh my gosh, we waxed all poetic on the last question. So no questions about this? I can't believe this didn't get a question.
Do you want to do a part 2?
Oh, I would love to do a part 2.